What an incredible story. This blind man receives his sight in some ways twice. Literally, Jesus gives the man his sight. But Jesus also opens the eyes of his blind heart, tenderly revealing himself to him, culminating in belief and worship. It's beautiful, right? It starts off with a question that I've certainly asked when something bad happens. Maybe you've asked it as well. Some version of that question, right? Who sinned, causing this man to be born blind? Now, we may not ask it like that, but I think we often wonder in the face of difficulty, if I've done something to deserve this, is God punishing me? Is God mad at me? Is that why this thing has happened? Now, there are a couple of answers to that question. First of all, if you're a Christian, one thing you can be absolutely certain of is that God is not punishing you. Jesus already took all of the punishment you deserve on the cross, which is why Paul says in Romans 8, there's no condemnation for those who are in Christ. This means God has no anger left for you, and he will never punish you. That you can be certain. However, there are times, of course, when, like a loving parent, God does discipline us. The author of Hebrews, for example, writes about this in chapter 12. He says, "For the Lord disciplines the one he loves and chastises every son or daughter whom he receives. He disciplines us for our good so that we may share his holiness." So there are times when God does that for us as his children. And there are also times, like this man here, where God allows something difficult, tragic even, into our lives so that, what does Jesus say? So that the works of God might be displayed, meaning that God may be glorified, that God may be known and seen and trusted and worshiped. And that is exactly what happens here. This man was born blind. I mean, how terrible would that have been for him, his parents, his community? Absolutely tragic. And just imagine that. But he was born blind so that he could see, truly see Jesus, not just with his eyes, but with his whole being. And as a result, he believes, he worships. And this doesn't just affect him. The disciples see it, his parents see it, their community sees it, and even us, right? Reading these words, reading about this sign, are also given the opportunity to believe and worship, all because this man was born blind. Now, I realize our suffering, our trials, they don't typically come with the same kind of clarity from Jesus, right? Of why or of what God is doing. I know that, and there is often so much mystery around our heartache. But we can trust him, right? Even as this man did. That whatever we encounter will ultimately be for our good and for his glory. I know that doesn't make it easy, but I do have one question for us to reflect on. Was it worth it to the man? To suffer blindly most of his life, but to then truly see Jesus. And think about that. Like, that man is with Jesus right now and has been for nearly 2,000 years. Think about that. Would it be worth it to you? Is our suffering worth it if it leads to glory?